Hey guys, Nick here, and welcome to the Omniverse of Nick and part 14 to What If Goku's Heart Virus Turned Him into a Zombie. Before we get into it, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the Omniverse of Nick, and if you don't want to miss anything that the future of the Omniverse has to offer, and to stay tuned with everything, be sure to check out the Omniverse's homepage and comment future requests and expectations for this year and for the future in the comments section. With all that said, let's get started. We open up for the Universe 6 vs. 7 tournament with Gohan, Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Broly as the competitors. But this isn't going to be the whole five-man thing that it seems to be. But trust me, it'll be decent. Goku beats Potamo the same, and then starts to fight Frost. But Frost finds himself at a much bigger disadvantage here because of Goku's array of Kaioken and techniques, preventing Frost from really getting a blow in at all. And he worries that he's not even going to be able to use his poison needle, and he might have to actually show he really is evil to these, befuddled people. But a few blows from Goku instantly knocks the sense into him, literally, and knocks him out of the ring. So yeah, Frost doesn't even get a chance to use his poison needle. Not against this Goku. Not because he's smarter, but because he has been used and just... It has been a situation for Goku in the story, obviously, that's put him in a situation where Frost just really doesn't matter. Not to Goku. Then Goku goes on to fight Kaba, and he does teach him the Super Saiyan form, because I do that pretty much all the time, because it's Goku. And Kaba, I feel, would want Goku to be his master, which I don't think I've ever really touched upon in this story. But that doesn't mean he and Vegeta won't interact. It just means that Goku is the more dominant master figure and better role because of the whole situation here in the tournament for him. Then Magetta and his whole, condensed space and fire and flames and metal body thing starts to put Goku on the back foot. But then Goku uses Super Kaioken 3 at full power and Kamehamehas Magetta not only out of the ring, but destroys the entire containment surrounding them. He doesn't even have to insult him. Then we get Goku and Hit, and the setup for that for the beginning goes the same. Hit time skips him, Goku tries to figure it out. He does in a few hits, just in base form, and then he has to escalate to powering up. But he doesn't go to blue. He goes to 4, because he hasn't had enough of a chance to fight in this form. And you might be asking, oh, well, if that was the case, why didn't he do it in Super? As I've said, they're catalysts. But this is a different Goku, meaning he could use this form more thoroughly because of how he trained in the afterlife. So, it only makes sense, So Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Hit fight, and I feel that Super Saiyan 4 Goku in this timeline would be around the time of Super Saiyan Blue Goku warming up against Hit at this time. Very close. And forces Hit to power up and show that he can improve too. And he has Goku on the ground and says he never thought to improve his time skip. And then Goku shows up, Super Kaioken 4, and rushes at Hit, but Hit uses his time skip because it's still not enough. And he starts to just mercilessly destroy Goku with everything that he is showing off, showing that he's far from done improving. Then we get a manga twist with Goku going God against Hit and fighting through the time skip. And like the manga, I feel a lot of those fight scenes would be choreographed perfectly for that, except maybe not like totally so, to make it a great fight for the show adaptation, since I only take nods from the manga, just like I do with the comics from The Walking Dead. And Hit uses his final stance, showing that, yep, he's still improving, and Goku still can't beat him. Goku then goes God Kaioken, and then he says, if you think this is the root of my power, I'm just getting started. And he goes blue into Kaioken right after being in God Kaioken, so it's a very nice transition. It was always cool when he transitioned between God and blue, So, same would apply here. And he instantly rushes to hit, slamming his fist into his face. But then Hit tries to use his time skip, but Goku parries it like cannon and goes Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20. And the two go in for that very last punch before the end of their fight commenced in canon, except something different happens. Because of a much different Goku, and already tiring Hit to advancing him to this point, and Goku's array of complete control of Kaioken, the punch that lands them both and hits them both, that one they did in canon, it knocks Goku out, but it also knocks Hit out. Yes, for the first time in my stories, I am tying Goku and Hit out of the ring at the same time. So, this means Universe 7 still wins because Goku fought the entire tournament. And even though he lost, they still won. And like I said, it wasn't going to be a whole, everybody fights sort of thing, especially with Broly around. You guys probably thought that, but think about this for a second. I have not had Goku fight in this story at freaking all till Super. So I had to give him this. It's literally like a must. Goku meets Zeno, and that goes the entire same way. There's not going to be a copy Vegeta because no Monica and no reason I've ever had to incorporate it. There's not going to be any Barry Khan or the alien thingamajig, none of that. And there's also going to be no Zamasu because no time travel. But, I am going to be doing something different with him. Every other time I've said, because of time travel, the stories that 9 times out of 10 for the stories I've done so far, has been Zamasu not choosing anybody's body because no time travel. But he is going to be involved. You're going to see. You're not going to see until the next episode and closing off the story, but just know he will be involved. But I'm not going to say how yet. So, Zeno and Grand Priest get to talking, and they come up with the Tournament of Power, and no exhibition because no future Zeno, so they get straight into it. So you guys might be wondering, in this era, this completely different, perplexing, amazing, overpowered, overbearing, weird and obnoxious timeline that you have conjured up in the story from a zombie virus, who is going to close off this story and be in the Tournament of Power for Universe 7? Well, Goku, obviously. Gohan, well, future Gohan, and because he's been the lead this entire story, Vegeta, without a doubt, because of his mastered Hell's ego, that's still going to put him in the Tournament of Power. Piccolo, because he's the next strongest with his Orange Piccolo and Namekian God powers. Broly, to actually give him something. Tien, Tarble, and Trunks. Now, there's not going to be any Earthlings because their powers are just much too small, and really, with no need of them around anymore since Goku came back, there's really no need to include them. And there's just not a need. They're much too weak compared to everybody else who's actually trained for this event. And honestly, they don't even want to join. Krillin, Roshi, and Yamcha are fine without being in it at all. Whereas Tien, he's actually strong. Like, he's become strong to the point where he wants to join and everything, He's much more on top than Krillin, Yamcha, and Roshi, who've kind of been laid back in this story after pretty much not even the Buu arc. And you could make the argument, well, Krillin came back. Well, there's also no Android 18. Yamcha wasn't in the original tournaments. I only put him in for one. And Roshi, he's just laid back. There's just no need to include them. There's also no Majin Buu and no Frieza. So this leaves the perplexing question: who are the last 2 members? And this isn't the first time you've done this, Nick. You included 2 guys before to fill in the roster. But what happens now? Who are you going to include? Goku smiles because he knows exactly who to include. It's not the Earthlings. It's not Frieza. And it's not any one of the Majins or anything like that. Goku says that he met many a people in Otherworld, two of which he knows are going to be perfect, and it will give them not only possibly a chance at life, depending on how this tournament goes, but it will give their team two very great warriors. So he uses his instant transmission and teleports to the Otherworld and talks to Olibu and Pycon. That's right, I'm including them in this story and canonizing them, since they already are canon. If you look at Dragon Ball Z Kai, which canonizes everything, Olibu and Pycon are there. It's just not the Otherworld tournament. They're not the relevant focus, which I think was meant for the best if they really wanted to save them for something for the future, which we still don't know yet. Yeah, as many twists, turns, fan-made stuff, and techniques and transformations they are, gotta admit, this is something well worth putting in this story. So Goku talks to fortune teller Baba about giving him a day to join the tournament, and Baba has no problem with this. It is two people, but I feel that they could work something out. And it's Goku, you know? He deserved this after being in heaven for so goddamn long and being a savior of Earth and everything. So Olibu and Pycon are brought, and they have not seen the living world in decades. Over that, actually, bunches and bunches and bunches and bunches of years. It's been so long. And it really throws them off. But they're given a deal. If they can win this tournament with the rest of them, they can be brought back to life. And Olibu and Pycon, they accept anyway because it's another tournament they're actually excited to participate in, and they really, really are thrilled at being want to be brought back to life. At least Olibu. Pycon's like Piccolo, where he doesn't really show like, oh, giddy giddy emotion, you know? But I think that's honestly what makes people like him, Vegeta, and Piccolo really good as characters, is certain levels of emotion that they show within themselves in the audience. Anyways, our team is set. Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, Broly, Pycon, Olibu, Trunks, Tien, and Tarble. All set for the Tournament of Power. And if you're wondering why I didn't include Paragus, he is just as weak as the Earthlings and not worth talking about. But he's around. But anyways, what is going to happen with the final stage set for the zombie story? Since the zombie virus after Super begins is really not a worry anymore. Will the team pull through for the Tournament of Power with this Universe 6 and 7 one being so easy? If Zamazu's involved, how dynamically dark will this turn if he is actually in the Tournament of Power and not just a spectator? And with Broly's rage seemingly quelled, will it somehow come back to bite with people like Kale involved? And with all these arrays of warriors, transformations, team tactics, and skills set for the end of the story, how will it close off? Find out in the semi-final part to the Goku Heart Virus zombie story.